This man formed a unique relationship with the lions after years of providing them proper care. But this happened when a lioness suddenly lunged at him when he was chest-deep in the water. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. South Africa is where Kevin Rene Richardson was born in 1974. He and his family lived in the Johannesburg suburbs where he was raised. As he became older, he attended college for a short time before leaving. This was because he felt that his studies in zoology were monotonous and boring, and that the course's main focus seemed to be marine biology. His real passions were South African wildlife and animals. Even though he didn't expect his hobbies would go beyond a pastime, he had always been attracted by the world around him. Kevin was 23 years old when everything changed drastically. He was employed as a handler and ultimately took care of 2 6-month-old lion cubs. Napoleon and Tao were the names of the cubs that he raised. Lion Park, the location of the cubs, was not far from his house. He held a part-time position at the park for a number of years, which provided him with a wonderful opportunity to assist in the care of wild creatures. Naturally, after all the time he had spent with lions and the practical expertise he had acquired, he became an authority on their behavior. He actually continues to hang around with Tao and Napoleon to this day. To suggest that they had an impact on his life would be a disservice. Kevin's enthusiasm for the protection of animals has only grown since he began working there. As an advocate for wildcats, he has now established a reputation for himself. When others witnessed the strong relationship he had with a variety of wildcats, he attracted a lot of attention. He has developed bonds with hyenas, cheetahs, and leopards, but lions are his favorite. 39 lions are under his care at the Lion Park Sanctuary. He is widely known by his renowned moniker, the Lion Whisperer. Do you know anything about this title? Videos and images of Kevin with his lions abound. He has developed a strong relationship with these deadly animals since they were cubs, which is how he is able to get so near and personal with them. Mutual trust has evolved from his resting and feeding them for a large portion of his day. He has a special bond with these lions that is difficult to duplicate. As Kevin has previously stated, you must pay attention and strengthen your link with the lion, just like you would with any other sentient person. A lion is not a property. Kevin saw the tragic image of 2 newborn lion cubs that had been left behind in 2003. A mother lion was there, and she had just given birth to 2 cubs. Sadly, the mother of these cubs had abandoned them and left them to fend for themselves. Kevin happened to find the newborn cubs in a wet ditch while exploring the region. They were hungry and unprotected. Even though they belonged to one of the most feared animal species on the planet, it didn't matter since right then and there they were defenseless and in dire need of assistance. Kevin declared, "I genuinely believe that Meg and Amy would have ended up in some capacity in the canned lion hunting market if I had never been able to get them back." Canned lion hunting is still practiced in South Africa, despite strong controversy surrounding it. Kevin had to make sure that cubs didn't experience anything similar. Kevin assumed responsibility for the 2 young cubs. The day he brought the cubs to his refuge was the beginning of a relationship that would only get closer. He named them Meg and Amy because they were both feminine. The refuge owned by Kevin was home to several lion cubs. Even if the cages were for their own safety, one thing that bothered him was seeing those powerful wild creatures confined within them. Following his adoption of those 2 cubs, Kevin made the decision to drastically alter the operations of his sanctuary. He would let the lions to wander freely in the wild. The park was surrounded by a large space that was ideal for all of his lions. Since Meg and Amy lacked a father who would stick by them as they got older, he gave parenting them extra care. Animals that are not reared in the outdoors run the danger of developing fear of the wild and discomfort in unfamiliar environments. Kevin, though, made sure that wouldn't happen. He would frequently promote the lionesses to go on what he dubbed enrichment walks, which involved strolling about. They could do with it as they pleased. Meg and Amy became used to the plains of South Africa as a result of this exposure. Kevin would watch them wander and play like a proud father. He was pleased to see Meg and Amy contented in their natural environment, as it was what they were meant to do. However, Lions are not the kind of animal that should be domesticated. Lions are apex predators, respected among other animals, unlike our domestic cats, who like lounging around the house. They are natural predators because they have evolved to be so. They are not like that. No matter how much time they spend with us, they will never be able to easily fit into our culture. Kevin recognized that Meg and Amy had changed. Even lions who have spent their entire lives in captivity are reasonably skilled hunters. It just comes from their DNA. Although many individuals would find this frightening, Kevin didn't expect anything less from them. He believed it was wonderful to see lions being who they really were. He quickly realized that wild animals would not be like domestic pets when his interest in them first peaked. He didn't want them to be anything other than what they had evolved to be, which was one of the reasons he didn't want to cage them. It was thrilling to witness lions performing their natural behaviors, Kevin remarked. Kevin was lucky not to have suffered any serious injuries from his interactions with lions. However, this did not give him license to act carelessly. Working with wild animals was never safe, even if he had not experienced any negative effects up to this point. That's why he would always have to be on the lookout for the chance that Meg and Amy would injure him, even as their relationship became closer. In the park, there was a sizable river. Kevin made the decision to go swimming one day. He was unable to ignore the sound of rustling behind him as he made his way through the waves. Turning, Kevin saw that a lioness was pursuing him through the bushes. Meg was the one. Kevin could see through the reeds that she was in the mood for hunting. Kevin was watching her, wondering what she was doing and wondering what she would do next. The lioness suddenly sprang at him. Meg's paws reached almost to his face, and Kevin felt his heart catch in his throat. Someone else in Kevin's shoes could have handled things differently. It might be reasonable to flee, to splatter water to divert attention, or even to take defensive action. But Kevin had lived with lions all his life. Kevin stayed just where he was, taking care of Meg when she was a baby cub. Meg's only request, it turned out, was for an embrace. Meg splashed into the water and snuggled herself around Kevin, resting her massive paws on his shoulders. Kevin gently stroked her damp fur. For Meg, this was a pivotal time in her life. Her mother had left her and her sister in a ditch when they were little, so it was a tough beginning to overcome. Meg had grown afraid of the water, but she was able to get over her phobia because she trusted Kevin to be there for her. Meg and Kevin have spent many hours swimming in the river since that day. Meg looks at me like, "What, are you going to catch me?" when I call her and she comes swimming, Kevin remembered. Really, it's an unsaid language. We exchange glances as I stare at her. That is faith. Having spent so much time together, Kevin considers Amy and Meg to be his soulmates. Even now, anyone may read Kevin's autobiographical novels or view footage of him with his lions. In the field of animal conservation, Kevin Richardson has amassed a sizable fan following that backs his efforts. He is utilizing his fame to spread awareness in order to realize his objective of preventing the extinction of his beloved species. If you were moved by this tale, please let me know what you think by leaving a comment and like it. I'm hoping to see you in a future video. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.